Title: Joseph's Journey, From the Pit to the Palace. Chapter 1. The Favorite Son. Joseph was the son of Jacob, a wealthy patriarch with 12 sons. Of all his children, Jacob loved Joseph the most because he was the firstborn of his beloved wife, Rachel. To show his affection, Jacob gave Joseph a beautiful coat of many colors, a garment that set him apart and made him stand out among his brothers. This favoritism fueled envy in his older brothers, who already disliked Joseph for his arrogance and for the dreams he often shared with them. In his dreams, Joseph saw himself ruling over his family, with his brothers bowing down to him. Chapter 2. Betrayed by Blood. One day, when Joseph was 17, his father sent him to check on his brothers who were grazing their flocks far from home. When they saw him approaching in his colorful coat, their jealousy boiled over. They conspired to get rid of him. At first, they planned to kill him, but Reuben, the eldest brother, persuaded them to spare his life. Instead, they stripped Joseph of his coat and threw him into a dry pit, planning to leave him there. While Reuben was away, the brothers saw a caravan of Ishmaelite traders heading to Egypt. Judah, another brother, suggested they sell Joseph instead of leaving him to die. So, for 20 pieces of silver, they sold their brother as a slave. To cover up their deed, they soaked Joseph's coat in goat's blood and showed it to their father, who mourned Joseph as if he were dead. Chapter 3. A Slave in Egypt. Joseph was taken to Egypt, where he was sold to Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's guard. Despite his circumstances, Joseph's integrity and hard work earned him Potiphar's trust, and he was put in charge of the entire household. Joseph managed everything so well that Potiphar prospered, but trouble arose when Potiphar's wife tried to seduce him. When Joseph refused her advances out of loyalty to his master and to God, she falsely accused him of trying to assault her. Furious, Potiphar threw Joseph into prison. Chapter 4. A Prisoner with a Gift. Even in prison, Joseph's abilities and good character shone. The warden soon noticed Joseph's leadership and put him in charge of other prisoners. 2 of Pharaoh's servants, the royal cupbearer and the baker, were imprisoned and each had troubling dreams. Joseph, known for interpreting dreams, listened to their stories and told them what their dreams meant. The cupbearer's dream foretold that he would be restored to his position, while the baker's dream meant his execution. Both predictions came true. Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him and speak on his behalf to Pharaoh, but the man forgot Joseph for 2 more years. Chapter 5. Pharaoh's Dreams. 2 years later, Pharaoh had 2 disturbing dreams. In one, 7 fat cows were devoured by 7 thin cows. In the other, 7 healthy heads of grain were swallowed up by 7 thin, scorched heads. None of Pharaoh's wise men could interpret the dreams, and it was then that the cupbearer remembered Joseph. He told Pharaoh about the young Hebrew prisoner who had accurately interpreted dreams. Joseph was summoned from prison, cleaned up, and brought before Pharaoh. With God's guidance, he interpreted the dreams. Egypt would have 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of severe famine. He advised Pharaoh to store surplus grain during the good years to prepare for the famine. Impressed by Joseph's wisdom, Pharaoh said, "Since God has revealed the meaning to you, there is no one as discerning and wise as you." Chapter 6. From Prisoner to Prime Minister. Pharaoh made Joseph the second most powerful man in Egypt, giving him authority over the land. Joseph was given fine clothes, a royal ring, and a chariot to signify his new status. He was named Zaphanath-Paneah and married Asenath, the daughter of a prominent priest. During the 7 years of plenty, Joseph oversaw the collection and storage of vast amounts of grain, ensuring that Egypt was well prepared for the famine. Chapter 7. A Family Reunited. When the famine struck, it affected not only Egypt but the surrounding regions, including Canaan, where Joseph's family lived. Jacob sent his sons to Egypt to buy grain. When they arrived, they unknowingly bowed before Joseph, who recognized them immediately. Although he spoke harshly at first to test their hearts, Joseph's emotions eventually overcame him. He revealed his identity, and there were tears of reconciliation. He forgave them, saying, You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good, to save many lives. Joseph invited his entire family to move to Egypt, where he provided for them during the famine. Jacob was reunited with his long-lost son, and the family settled in Goshen, where they grew and prospered.